Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to an Organized Living series. I'm excited because I have Anna Martin here, and we're going to talk about how to stay organized when you have a child who has special medical needs. So, Anna, thank you so much for
Yes, thank you
joining
for
us.
having me.
So before we get into our conversation with Anna, I just want to read her background. And it says, Anna Martin, health and wellness coach and mom to two sweet boys and a third on the way. She was a former elementary school teacher prior to her first son being born. He was born with a rare genetic condition that required lots of medical care and therapies. She also left the classroom to be a full-time mom, nurse, therapist, and medical coordinator for him. Motherhood has been a journey of navigating how to take care of herself through the stress and overwhelm of life so that she can best take care of her family. And she has a passion for helping other women learn systems to help them navigate motherhood without the constant cycle of burnout. And she also wants moms to know that no matter what circumstances that they may face in life, they are still worth showing up for. So, Anna, again, thank you so much. So, Anna, can you just, and I know I touched on a little bit, but can you just share your journey to becoming a stay-at-home
Yeah,
mom?
so my journey to becoming a stay-at-home mom, it was very unexpected. In 2015, I was pregnant with my first son, and we actually knew at our anatomy scan that there were some differences in his anatomy, but we just really didn't know what that meant for his life and our life. So while I was pregnant, I had full intention of going on maternity leave and then returning back to the classroom when that was over. Well, he was born, he spent 6 weeks in the NICU, and during that time, he had two surgeries for a tracheotomy and a G tube, which is a feed in the belly. And so he just ended up requiring a lot more care than what we originally realized. Um, During that time, we also learned about more anomalies with his anatomy. We learned that he was hard of hearing and was deaf in one ear and had some mild hearing loss in the other ear. We learned that he had a genetic diagnosis of CHARGE syndrome, which is a rare genetic condition. So once we left the NICU and got home, it just, was very evident that I was not going to be able to return at least that school year. When we, got home from the NICU, he pretty much required 24/7 care with the trach and the G tube feedings. And then he also had early intervention therapies on top of that for his hearing, for physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, all of the things. And we were still seeing so many doctors. So as time went on, summer came and gone. I realized that I was not going to be able to return to the classroom. So I ended up resigning and just stayed home with him. I did actually start working again right before he turned 3. And it was very part-time, and it's still very part-time. 3 is when they age out of early intervention services and they move towards more of this public school system services for their therapies and whatnot. So I started working part-time while he was at preschool. And I worked for this nonprofit organization in our area that helps with or who serves families with children who have social and developmental delays. And it's very flexible. So it still gives me that flexibility to do all the things for him and be able to work. So that has been sort of my journey. And then, in the last year or so, I have just really kind of passion for helping other women, other moms. And so that's when I started my own health and wellness coaching business. And so that's something that I'm able to do from home while still being able to care for both of the kids.
Wow, Anna. So I guess my next question is, What is your typical day like? Because you've got, got the two boys, you're a wife, but then also, you've got the business, and of course, you got the baby on the way. And of course, I see you doing those wonderful inspirational videos. So, what is your
So
typical
it
day
really
like?
varies. But I have learned that if I wake up before the kids and give myself that time in the morning to do my devotional and work out and just kind of have that quiet time, it puts myself in a position to take on whatever the day brings. And then, from there, normally we're prepping meds and we do all the things. His care has changed a lot from the early years. So he doesn't require as much care. So we still have meds, we still do breathing treatments, um, get him dressed and both kids fed and out the door. And normally we have either school or the summer we were doing some summer camps, but then also therapies. And so it's just, my days vary. It doesn't always look super organized. Because they can be so different. And then I try to just work my business in between all of the cracks. If Rhett's in therapy and Brooks is, napping, I am able to spend some time working. And I also try to work a little bit in the mornings and in the evenings as well. But I'm very thankful that I have a husband who is supportive, who will, watch them and let me get some work in when he gets home. So it doesn't, I guess it's kind of organized chaos, if you will. It doesn't always look the same, but somehow we can find our flow.
And I think you have found a flow. And I guess my next question is what are some of the things you do to really stay organized? Because like I said, you have the boys, the baby on the way, you've got your husband, you've got, you're working outside the home part-time, but you also have a growing business. And just how do you navigate it all? Because again, I love watching your Instagram videos because it's always inspirational. You always have a smile. You always show that you are, and I guess in all of this, you always show that you're taking care of yourself, which I think sometimes when you are a mother and a wife and of course, you're taking care of a child like you are, sometimes that gets kind of like put at the bottom of the list. And I just curious, like,
Thank
how do
you.
you do it?
Yeah, so I rely heavily on my planner. So I have a planner and I just have to write down everything. So if there's like a therapy appointment or a doctor's appointment, I definitely go ahead and put all of that in. And then I just try to plug in things that I know that I would like to get done. And I love checklists and to-do lists. And so I just always feel so good checking and something off the list. And I'll do that for both, like, his, all of his cares, but also for like things that I'm trying to get done in my business, but also like things like chores. If I know that I definitely need to get laundry done, like I'm going to write it on my list so that I know like this has to happen today or our hamper is going to be overflowing. So, I just try to like keep things as structured, I guess, as possible. But then also like knowing that sometimes you have to pivot and things don't go according to plan. And, you have to be flexible and be okay with being flexible. So that is sort of how I like organize our life. Calendars of
And are there any other tools? I know you said you have your planner, but are there any other tools that you use that will help you be more organized? I'm always curious because a lot of people, when they find out that people who are organized use physical planners, it's like something like, what, really? You don't use? And I share that sometimes the physical planner really helps me, like you say, stay on track. When you write down, okay, I need to do laundry today, you put it on that list. So, and I was just curious, are there any other
Yeah,
tools or
so I've
platforms
tried
that
a
you
lot of
use?
different things, but I always just come back to like the paper pencil. That just seems to work for me. Now, there are times where I will like set reminders into my phone for things that like I need to do this at this time and I don't need to forget it. So I will use like the reminders app for just so that I have that come straight to my phone and my watch and whatever. Um, but I like the paper pencil. Now we also have an Alexa. So I'll oftentimes use that, like add this
Hmm.
to, our grocery list or my to-do list. And then I'll come back and write it down later. That just seems to be what works for me.
I understand. I do understand. I do understand. And my last question is, what do you do for you, for Anna? When you're not taking care of the kids, when you're not, tending to your husband, when you're not doing the business or things outside.
Yeah,
What do you
so
do for
I
Anna?
have just found that spending time in my devotional and like exercising in the morning, that just really energizes me for the day. I also have, over the summer, I was in a book club and I haven't read books that weren't medical related in so long. So I have kind of picked up that again, and that's been really nice. I'll do like a bubble bath here and there whenever, I can get a moment. But yeah, so those are kind of my little things that I like to do.
And I like bubble baths
Oh,
too,
nice.
Anna. It's just something about just being able to
Yes.
just kind of be still and yeah, and it's really good. And I just want to again let you know that you really those videos you put out there are inspirational because I see you exercising, but of course I know all the behind the scenes stuff. I'm like, if Anna can exercise, then me with just my plants over here, I could get myself up and get a moving. So Anna, how can
So
people
they can
watching this
find me on
connect with you?
Instagram at mommy.in.charge. I'm also on Facebook, and my Facebook is just my full name, Anna Potts Martin. But I also have a blog that I was really active with in the beginning of my son's life, and I still update pretty regularly. We don't have quite as many updates now, but they can find that at mommyinchargeblog.com.
And of course, those of you watching, I'll make sure that I have all of Anna's links below. So Anna, thank you so much for taking
Yes,
time
thank
out
you
to
so
be
much.
with
It
us
was so
today.
nice chatting.